All right, I see it is 11:31, so why don't we go ahead and get started. So, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Alertus Power Lunch, all about Alertus Console Reports. My name is Sarah, and I'm a trainer here at Alertus. In this session, we are focusing on navigating the reporting capabilities in your Alertus console to help assure that your solution is operating at optimal functionality. And today we are joined by Brooke Petrozelli from the training team who will be leading the conversation today. And this is an interactive session, so please feel free to ask any questions or throw them into the chat or the Q&A feature. And please be aware that this session is being recorded for training purposes. So if you would prefer to be off camera, feel free to turn off your video. But without further introduction, Brooke, let's get started.
Great. Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining our call today. I'm going to be sharing my screen in a second, and we're going to go through the console together, look at all the different types of reporting capabilities that we have. And as Sarah mentioned, please feel free to put any questions in the chat or in the Q&A box as we go through, and there will be time to answer them all at the end. All right. So, Sarah, you can see my screen? Great. Okay, so when you log into the console, you should have your login page here. As you enter, you come in and you see your home page, and then on the left side, your navigation bar, you have all your 4 types of activation, dashboards, reports, and then the configure system settings that has all of the different parts that we can configure. I'm going to send off an alert right now through a preset activation that I can do in this quick access preset activation, and then we'll look at all the different reports that came from that. So let me send off a system test. As you can see, I can just press this preset alert quick access button. It already is set up to go to all of my delivery methods and groups and message text. So I'm going to send the alert. It is an active alert at the bottom of my screen on my console. I also just saw it pop up on my phone. And any second, it's going to pop up on my desktop as well as an active alert in the system.
Alertus Technologies. This is a test of the Alertus emergency notifications.
All right, so I pressed the acknowledge button on my computer. I'm also going to press the acknowledge button, confirm button on my phone for the mobile. And now I'm going to cancel this alert and we can take a peek at all the different reports that came from it. It is important that you don't look at the reports until the alert is canceled or finished. You don't want to look at a report while there is an active alert going on, just because it will mess up with some of the reporting functionality. But now we're going to take a look here. So in our left side navigation bar, under reports, we have all of these different types. They're listed alphabetically, and we're going to start with alert history. So alert history is a report that lists the 40 most recent alerts sent by the system, sorted in reverse chronological order. As you can see, the one I just sent was alert 211. If I wanted to see any alerts that were further back than 40 most recent alerts, I can click download complete history, and I'll be able to see all of those alerts from my full history of using my Alertus solution. In my alert history report, I can see the message that was sent out. I can even view how it looked to the receivers of the alert. And if I click the message, I'm able to see even more information. So it went out to my test group for 5 minutes. It was sent by the admin in the console, and it was canceled at the end as well. There are also 3 different reports that are attached to this report. The first is device activation. So if I click device activations, it's going to open a second tab, and it will tell you basically the same information that we saw when I clicked the message in the alert history screen. But if you scroll down, you're able to see even more information about the different devices. So I have 3 different devices in my test group: my alert beacon, my desktop, and my text-to-speech speaker. I don't have my alert beacon and my text-to-speech speaker plugged in right now. So only the desktop went off, and you can see that it went off in 11 to 20 seconds. And so 100% of my desktops went off. This alert history report will only show the hardware, so it's not going to show the mobile. I'm going to get to a report for that later. So that's why you don't see the phone mentioned here. But as you scroll down, you can even see another type of graph that shows how long it took the device to activate and go off. And then even further detail down here. So you can see that my exact desktop went off in 12 seconds at this exact time. My alert beacon and my text-to-speech speaker, once again, were not activated because they were offline. So you're able to see all the different devices here. If you have like a specific device you want to check on, you can always search here or download the CSV file and see if it was activated that way. Device acknowledgements is very similar to device activations, except for it notes when the device was acknowledged, which is when I press that green acknowledge button on the desktop, or I press that confirm on my phone. On an alert beacon, if you press the front two buttons at the same time, it will also acknowledge if it's going off. So once again, it has the same information at the top, and then it will tell you when it was acknowledged. So my desktop was acknowledged in 31 to 60 seconds when I pressed that button, and 100% of my desktops were acknowledged, 33% total, because once again, those two other devices were offline. A similar graph is shown for the acknowledgement time. Obviously, we want the majority of our graph to be leaning towards the left here. So we're getting a lot of quick acknowledgement and quick activations. And then once again, you can scroll down, you can see at 34 seconds, I acknowledged my desktop here. The last report is user recipients. So user recipients will show who has, if any of your users have logged in under LDAP or under the mobile. So when you scroll down, you can see that my mobile device, that the email that I have logged in on, was activated at 22 seconds and I acknowledged at 24 seconds. This activation time for mobile, though, this note is important at the bottom. My phone actually went off like almost immediately after it. I would say like 2-3 seconds after I sent out the alert, but the activation time reports when an alert was viewed by a user, not received. So until I went into my phone and I clicked that and I viewed the alert, that was when the 22 seconds kicked in. And then when I clicked that confirm button, that's when the 24 seconds kicked in. So this is where you can see the mobile activation data as well. And once again, you can see who is logged in with their email address to those mobile devices. So all three of these reports are attached to an alert. They do have their own reporting tab over here as well that you can open. If I just want to see device acknowledgements, I can open this tab, and then I would have to know the alert ID number. So if I want to see the alert 207, I can press view acknowledgements, and then I can see exactly that for 207. You do have to know the alert ID number in order to use these three different types of reports over here. So I do find it a little bit easier to go through just the alert history tab itself because they're already attached to the same report. But they do exist over here for your device acknowledgement, device activations, and user alert recipients as well. All right, I'm going to close out of these tabs real quick. And look at the next one. So we looked at these two already, and now we're going to take a peek at device status. So device status will also open another tab and report. And this is going to show all of the information of all of your devices that are online, inactive, or offline. You can sort it. If I just wanted to see my alert beacons, I could uncheck all of these other things and just take a peek at my alert beacons. But I'm going to look at all of them for now. As you can see, there are some that are white. That means that they are online and they are ready to receive information. Our devices check in with the Alertus system every 3 seconds. So they will check in very quickly. And you can see that they have recently checked in. That's why they are online and active. The yellow devices are inactive devices. That means they have checked into the system recently, but not too recently. You can see how far out. So this, if a device has not checked in for 10 minutes, it will turn yellow here. And then red devices, these have been offline since the restart. So my server was last restarted in April, as you can see up at the top. So this device has not been online since then. So that is something to go check out and see, is this a connection issue with your Wi-Fi or any sort of specific issue with the hardware? You can go check out there. So it's very easy to see what's working, what's not at a quick glance here. There's also a lot more information as you scroll through about last time checked in, IP addresses, all of this different information that you can use especially if you're on the IT side of things, you can see what computer name is logged in, etc. here. And this is really helpful just to keep an eye and make sure that everything's running smoothly. If you want to see more or less, you can click that add remove columns and make sure that you're seeing what you want to see. So it's easier to read, or you have all the things you want to see here as well. And then once again, you can always export it as a CSV file and read it that way as well if you'd like. The next one we're going to look at is group memberships. So with group memberships, this displays all of the alert devices that are assigned to a group in your configure system settings. So these are all the different groups that I have in this training server. If I go into my test group, which is the one that I sent the alert to, you can see that I have my desktop that did go off, and then my text-to-speech speaker and my alert beacon that did not go off because they are offline. You can see that I am the only one that is in this as a contact because it is my test group. So when I send tests, I'm the only one that's getting them. And then also you can see that my phone mobile user is logged in with my email address as well here. So this is a good way, a quick, easy way to do and check who is in your groups. There are also a few other reports at the top that are helpful. So you can view alert devices not assigned to any groups. So I have 4 devices that are not in any groups. They probably should be in a group if I'm using the group capabilities. So let me go in and see where should this desktop go, or where should this alert beacon go. There's a few other ones at the top, such as you can view group memberships displayed by alert device. So if I want to see that, okay, this desktop is actually in 3 groups, and this desktop is also in 3 groups. So you can see kind of the reverse, which your devices are in which groups. You could have multiple groups per device. And the last one is the view contacts not assigned to any groups. So right now, only Eliza is an unassigned contact, so maybe she should go in and be assigned a group as well. So this is really a helpful space for you to explore your, like I said, your grouping capabilities and see if everything's in the right spot. Similarly is location membership. So if you have location set up in your configure system settings, then you'll be able to see who is in what alert devices are in these locations. So for building 1, I have 1 alert beacon set up there, but I have a bunch of alert devices not assigned to locations because I don't really utilize the location configure systems portion as much as the grouping portion. But if your organization does, this is where you would see that information here. The next is mobile memberships. So mobile memberships, this link or this training part right here, that is the code that your organization has used to log in to your mobile app. And as you can see, there are 2 emails that are in this mobile membership group, my email and Sarah's email. And then you're also able to see what groups they're in as well, based off of their email addresses. And then you can also see when they installed this on their phones, the created date, the modified date, etc. If someone does uninstall and reinstall it, they will show up on this report twice. So you can just look at the most recent time that they've created that. All right, the next one that we're going to take a peek at is system activity. So system activity is basically what the console is doing. So the system activity of what's happening in your Alertus console. So you'll able to see all the different warnings, all the different bugs, any info and any errors for all of these types of categories. So say I only want to see the errors, I can just highlight errors, and then I'm able to see that on July 3rd, there was an error about this specific Alertus Console 500. If I want to see warnings as well, I can pull those up. If I want to see activations, I can just make sure that I have the info set up here. And then I can see that admin set off the preset alert system test ID at this time during this meeting. And then I canceled that alert at this time as well. You can see who is logged in if you do the login here. And so you can see that there is mostly admin, but we have some other preset users in here and dispatcher users as well. So who's logging into your console? And then of course you can sort it by date and time as well at the top. The last 2 reports we're going to look at are specifically for VoIP, which is voice over internet protocol. So if you have these VoIP phones, we have VoIP activations and VoIP devices. So because VoIP is an integration in the system, it's not going to show up in the alert history report as detailed as we would have preferred. So what's going to happen is it will show that the VoIP integration was set off and that it was targeted for that. But if you want to go and see actually what specific phones were set off during this integration time, then you can come here and select that alert ID. I don't have any VoIP activation data in my console because I don't have VoIP phones on here, but it will look like this. It will show the directory number, the delivery date, if it failed or succeeded, and any of the remarks and devices that you have as well. So all this information will auto-populate from the different activations for your VoIP phones in this area. And similarly is the VoIP devices. This will show all of the different VoIP devices. So it will look like this on your screen. It will show the platform, the description, the directory number, and then if you have any IP or MAC addresses set up, phone models, etc., all of this you'll be able to see here if you have these set up in your computer. So these are all the reports that we have in the console. There are some that are applicable to you. There are some that are not applicable to you or your organization. And there's a way in the system to set up a way that you don't have to see all of them. So if you go to configure system and you head down to users and access rights, you're able to see all of the different users in your console. And then if you scroll a little bit further down to user roles, you can manage what they see in the console. So if I want my preset only users to only see the alert history report and maybe the group membership report as well, then I can do that here. If they do have VoIP and I want you to see that, I can click and select here, and I'm able to then only see the ones that I have selected. If I do select alert history, then that will include the device acknowledgements, the device activations, the user recipients, and also the device status report will be included in alert history. So all of these ones that have this little pop out button next to it, if I click this button, will be able to be seen. And then once again, you can select whatever else you want your preset users or different roles to see in the system as well.